Off of which movie?
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Behind the scenes, you guys know as well as I do that those executives like Spielberg are looking at that saying, Rachel Zegler can F right off.
Hollywood just watched a real-life fairy tale implode. No poisoned apples, no evil queens, just one actress, one viral video, and a $270 million catastrophe that Disney is now desperately trying to forget. Because Rachel Zegler's version of Snow White wasn't just a flop, it was a full-blown meltdown. One that started with a nearly empty theater, spiraled into online chaos, and ended with Disney calling in emergency damage control. But how did a rising star go from Golden Girl to walking PR disaster? Let's break down the behind-the-scenes drama, the celebrity feud, the political controversy, and the social media posts that may have burned this film to the ground. The theater that started all. March 25, 2025. Rachel Zegler walked into a theater to watch her new Disney film. It was supposed to be a career-defining moment. Instead, she walked into an empty room. The crowd? Just a few loyal friends. The mood? Awkward at best. They tried to lighten it up, filming a TikTok bit where they asked a movie employee, 2 tickets please, and held up a Snow White-themed popcorn bucket like it was supposed to mean something. It didn't, because no one else was watching. No one else showed up, even on Discount Tuesday. And as the video hit social media, the internet reacted with brutal honesty.
That is totally uplifting and the right way to be woke, Link, when you actually cancel the roles for the marginalized population because just putting them on screen is somehow racist.
The jokes were instant. The memes were relentless. But the real horror was still to come. Box office numbers that shook Disney. Snow White's box office performance wasn't just underwhelming, it was a bloodbath. The film scraped in just $3.5 million on preview night and only $43 million opening weekend. For most studios, that's bad. For Disney, with a $250 million budget, plus tens of millions more spent on marketing, that's a historic flop. Fans started sharing empty theater photos, seating charts showing entire rows unclaimed. One user tweeted, Snow White isn't just bombing, it's ghosting audiences in real time. And then came the cherry on top. An old video clip of Rachel Zegler resurfaced online. And let's just say, it aged terribly. People will wait in line to see me. In a past interview, Zegler once passionately declared that, just like ancient statues in the Louvre, people would wait in line to see her. That quote was meant to be inspiring. But as Snow White flopped harder than anyone imagined, the internet turned it into a punchline. People did wait, one user wrote, to leave the theater early. Influencers reposted the clip with savage captions. Critics mocked her as delusional. The video was viewed millions of times in just days. And behind the scenes, Disney executives were panicking. Because what the public didn't know yet was that this movie had been cursed long before it even hit theaters. The backlash Disney tried to hide. Disney insiders revealed that concerns about Zegler started way before the film's release. She'd already made headlines by trashing the original 1937 Snow White, calling the storyline weird, mocking Prince Charming, and saying they intentionally removed the romance angle from the remake. Fans weren't impressed. Why accept the role if you hate the story? Became a common question online. But then came the D23 disaster. While promoting the film on stage, Zegler ended her speech with an unexpected political statement. The audience was stunned. Executives were furious. Producer Mark Platt, one of Disney's top guys, reportedly flew out in person to confront Zegler and tell her to tone it down. But she didn't. Instead, things got worse. Because behind the scenes, a silent feud was bubbling with her co-star Gal Gadot. But things weren't just tense behind the scenes, they were reportedly boiling over on set. According to insiders who spoke with Variety and deux moi-adjacent sources, Zegler clashed multiple times with key crew members during the London shoots. One assistant reportedly described the vibe as high-stress and ego-heavy, saying Zegler frequently questioned creative direction and was not shy about voicing her frustrations. The arguments weren't just quiet disagreements either. One source claimed there were heated exchanges between Zegler and a senior costume designer during a fitting that turned so intense, production had to pause for the day. The issue? Zegler allegedly insisted on changes that didn't align with Disney's approved design notes, frustrating the design team and delaying the schedule. And it didn't stop there. Tensions also flared between Zegler and an assistant director over her refusing to shoot a scene until certain script edits were made. According to one crew member, she wanted full creative control, and Disney didn't know how to handle her. Whether those claims are exaggerated or not, one thing's clear. The vibe on set wasn't exactly a fairy tale. And Zegler wasn't playing the role of a passive princess. She was fighting for control, and not everyone agreed with her vision. Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, the Cold War. They smiled together for cameras. They praised each other in interviews. But insiders say it was all for show. The real tension began when Zegler posted multiple pro-Palestine messages on Instagram during a highly charged political moment. Gal Gadot, who served in the Israeli army and has deep ties to her home country, reportedly became the target of online threats almost immediately. Disney stepped in and quietly paid for extra security for Gadot. Then came the Oscars. The two awkwardly presented together, but when Zegler posted a heartfelt "thank you" on Instagram the next day, Gadot was nowhere in the caption. No tag, no photo. Was it a coincidence? Or a digital snub? Either way, the feud wasn't the problem anymore. Because what happened next nearly killed the movie's last chance of survival. The Instagram post heard around the studio. Shortly after the presidential election, Zegler posted something that set the internet on fire. May Trump's supporters never know peace. Just that. Disney went into full panic mode. Half the film's potential audience. Alienated with one sentence. Studios don't like taking sides, especially when their profit margins are on the line. Once again, Mark Platt flew out for an emergency meeting. This time, Disney paid for a full-time social media consultant to approve every single post Rachel made leading up to the film's release. But the internet was already watching her like a hawk, and nothing could stop the backlash. The Snow White casting controversy. From the start, Zegler's casting as Snow White sparked massive debate. Critics called it a betrayal of the original fairy tale. Supporters said it was time to reimagine outdated stories. Zegler clapped back on social media, writing, "Yes, I'm Snow White. No, I'm not bleaching my skin." She later deleted the post, but the tone stuck with people. She called her critics losers, obsessed with keeping a cartoon character white. She called the romance plot creepy. She questioned the entire foundation of the story. And that might have worked if the movie had been good. But as reviews poured in, they all said the same thing. Lifeless story, zero chemistry, unlikable lead. And then Disney's next mistake made things so much worse. Peter Dinklage blows the lid off. In 2022, Game of Thrones star Peter Dinklage made headlines by calling out Disney's hypocrisy. "You're proud of casting a Latina Snow White," he said, "but you're still telling a story about 7 dwarfs living in a cave. What the hell are you doing?" The internet lit up. Some praised him for speaking out. Others slammed him for potentially erasing roles for actors with dwarfism. Disney responded by scrapping the 7 dwarfs entirely. Instead, they went with CGI creatures. The result? Total disaster. Fans roasted the new dwarfs for looking creepy, stiff, and fake. What once felt magical now looked like a low-budget video game cutscene. And by then, Disney had only one option left. The premiere that never happened. Normally, Disney rolls out the red carpet. Big stars. Big premieres. Worldwide fanfare. Not this time. The studio quietly canceled the traditional premiere. No major press tour. No huge London event. Just a low-key screening at El Capitan Theater in LA. The European premiere? Hidden away in a castle in northern Spain. No interviews. No glitz. No gala. It felt less like a celebration and more like a burial. The fall of a star and a studio's $270 million mistake. What happened with Snow White wasn't just a flop, it was a masterclass in how everything can go wrong all at once. A lead actress who couldn't stop posting. A studio that refused to take control. A fan base alienated before the movie even hit theaters. And a final product that looked more like a TikTok skit than a Disney classic. Rachel Zegler's career might survive this, but Disney's Snow White? It's officially the biggest PR disaster the company's faced in years. So what do you think? Did Rachel sabotage her own movie? Or did Disney ignore every warning sign? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want the full story behind Zegler's rise and fall, this next video is where the real drama begins.